Paru River still, and we're just coming down into the town of Wannering. Bit of water flowing in the Paru at the moment. The river's fairly big. These three bridges are three channels. The Paru River, and as you can see, it goes bank to bank. I was having a look a while back there at where I was camped, and the marks on the trees where the water was up to. Well, where I was camped last night was actually underwater when the floods came down about a month ago. She was flooded about a month ago, and there was a mark on the trees where the muddy water had got up to, and that was above my campsite. So where I was camped last night was actually all underwater. Yeah, the town of Wannering. Not a very big place. Looks like they got a general store. They got a Shell service station. I might be able to use my Shell card here. Wannering one-stop shop. Turn right, 500 metres. She's a big town, this one. Almost as big as Yawa. I didn't put that on video, but it was a small open mining town coming down from Welford National Park. There was a little town called Yawa. It was an open mining town, a bit like Cooperpedy, and the town just consisted of huts built over the mines that people were mining. There wasn't any. There was a street, but all the houses were, you know, that far away from the street, sort of thing. And it was a fairly. It looked a little bit like Andamuka without the central business district of Andamuka, if you know what I mean. It was just sort of everybody's mine, and they'd build houses over the top, and that's what they called a town. Well, anyway, we're in Wannering now. Obviously there's the store, because I see the Bowsers. We'll stop here and see if we can get some diesel. Oh dear. The little nature reserve where I was going to spend the night has got all no camping signs everywhere, so we're heading down south. There's a little park down there called Perry National Park, and I don't know whether you can camp in Perry National Park, but we'll give it a bit of a barking at, and we'll see whether it growls back at us. So we'll try there, eh? Camp for the night. White Cliffs Caravan Park. Yeah, I barked at the National Park, but I didn't get any growling in response, so I hope you can hear me on the little whip tonight, Ed. Oh dear, it's been a long day. See that? I've got my thongs on, so I've had my shower. If ever you're coming up to White Cliffs, remember to bring some money with you. You need $1 coin to activate the hot water on the shower. Cold water's free, but I think I've gone too far tonight. What have I got? I got some Kraft quick pasta, and I've chopped up some sausage and put in there, and I've also put some of this in. Some Cajun grilled salmon, and then I thought it looked a bit tentative, so I put in some of the old Mackenzie Sun, Moon and Stars, but I put a bit too much in, I think. Oh dear. I think I might have put too much in, because as you can see, you know I like my curry, but Tell you what, that needs a little bit more water. Very hard to do one-handed. Actually, it's almost bloody impossible to do one-handed. Ah dear, oh dear, oh dear. We'll put a bit of Port Perry water in there. Mix that up. We've got our double boiler and our heat guard going today. See our little heat guard down here? Give that a bit of a stir. I'll tell you what, I'm pushing the... When was that? That's Longreach bread. And I've got to do get rid of some garbage today too. Oh dear, oh dear. Another desert sunset. So we're here for the night, and already logged into Alice Springs, so if they can hear me, I think Ed should be able to hear me. We'll see how we go anyway. I'll tell you what, this is not bad. This is a good tucker, this is. Oh, by the way, see that? I'm eating off your plate, Robin. I do use it occasionally when I can get hold of some water to wash it. Other than that, I'd have to lick it clean, wouldn't I? Oh, wind's like the variable tonight, I reckon. Good morning. White Cliffs is a fairly large place. A bit like Cooper Pedy. There's a bit of a hill up here where they've been mining. But of course, one of the things about White Cliffs is there's no power out here, so they has to be all generated themselves. Let's see what we've got here. The parabolic dishes are made up of thousands of little mirrors, and they focus the sun on that little spot there, and that boils water to make steam, and the steam turns a turbine which generates the electricity. Not bad, eh? They're facing the early morning sun at the moment, but they aren't all turned on. There's some faced away from the sun. We've got a couple of radio towers there behind me, and if we come around, I'll zoom you in. Got some dugouts there on the hill. Just about every high spot in White Cliffs have been mined. I'm standing on top of people's houses now. There's roof vents and everything here. We'll come out. Some dugouts over there. Come on here. There's the solar power station down there. There's the road I think I've got to take out of White Cliffs up there. Few TV dishes here, eh? I had two TV stations last night. I had Imparsia and Channel 7. There's the caravan park down there, I think. Some more places over there. You see just about every high spot in White Cliffs have got people living in it. Bit of a moonscape out there. That'd be the main field, I should imagine. Zoom back out. So you see it's a reasonably spread out place. The central business district of White Cliffs is there, and we've got a mine site here, over there, and another one over here. Hello. And we've got mine sites. We're standing on them as well. All good, eh? In White Cliffs, they've got a little tourist drive through the field, and I just hope we don't take a wrong turn here. Man out there, obviously living in his caravan over his cutting, over his mine. He wouldn't want to start hopping on one of the holes, would he? They're sort of like they're pepper trees here too. There's a lot of pepper trees peppered all over the field. Getting into the area now where it's hard to believe they left enough undisturbed surface for the road to go through. There's the skylight and vent up there. We're in PJ's dugout at White Cliff. We've got some stuff here. Here's the I like the look of that one, actually. Not going to focus too good. Also like the look of these. Oh, I can't focus.
This way. We dug all of this passageway and the couple of rooms out the back.
Yeah. You'd be a fair way in at this stage, wouldn't you?
About 45, 50 metres from the front door,
God.
and about 28 feet underground.
Bloody amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Who picked the colour?
Oh, Joanne did all the decor.
Did she? No, for the wall,
walls,
you know.
Everyone does white. You try a bit of colour, which we did. Very, very pale, and most people wouldn't even know it was anything different.
Yeah.
But
You don't feel claustrophobic at all, do you? It doesn't.
Depends on the dugouts, whether they've got high roofs and
Yeah.
they've got plenty of fresh air through.
Yeah.
A lot of them haven't.
So you'd probably have the air, you know, going in one end and just going through the house and going out the other end, driven by the...
just the warm air going up the shaft.
Warm air, pouring in cool air and taking out the warm air. I suppose the only place you'd have to have forced ventilation is the kitchen for the cooking and that.
Yep, that's what we do.
This is amazing.
So we've got windows into 4 of our bedrooms from there.
There's the original walls.
Yeah, that's a little bit of opal through there.
Oh, you got a
grey potch across there.
Oh, the little thing, little tiny.
Yeah,
that's thick. In normal times, you'd try and follow that.
Yeah. But in that case, well, it's holding the roof up.
Oh, there's a bit of your ventilation there.
Yeah, the duct goes behind there to another spare room behind there.
If you want another room, you just dig it out here.
We're run out of room now, so we've got to go down and underneath if we want any more.
Oh, you've reached the end of your claim. I saw the little tags. I took the drive out there, and boy, you had to stay on the road, otherwise, you know. I saw some kangaroos jumping around. Do they ever just go down the hole?
Yeah, occasionally you walk around the field and you smell them.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for that.
That's all right.
I suppose you wouldn't want the power to go off, would you?
No. So about our own living area, we don't need lights on much, but the guest rooms and passageways we need lit up. Another 3 rooms down there.
You reckon you're a bit short of space?
Oh, we've done left.
Matilda National Park. There's a little walkway here, and we go along here, and we've got a bit of a cave here with some there's some markings up here. Every meeting they had, the head man used to tally up the number of meetings they had. They got little signs down here describing everything. This was the meeting stick, and made of human hair and ostrich feathers there. This was a symbol of the wise man. And also we got some hand stencils up here, made by putting their hand against the rock and blowing a mixture containing ochre over their hand. A few flies here. But this is this symbol here is a white man symbol. It says down here, William Wright, manager of Conjeka Station at Menindee, was signed on as leader of the support group for the Burke and Wills expedition. He visited this area in 1859 and in 1862, leaving his mark here in the form of blue triangles, which is what we see there. But you've got little things here describing all our marks and that. It's all rather good, isn't it, eh? They've got a walking trail along here. I'm not going to go all the way. It goes about 12 kilometres or something. But we'll just go a little way to get a bit of a flavour of what's going on, eh? Got a bit of a track through the rocks here. One of my bones of contention with all these places is, you know, you look it up on the internet and you say you want to do this, you want to do that. When you get here, you see a sign saying, wanted to go on the tour here. Tour's held only Wednesday and Saturday. Leaves from the campground at 11 o'clock. I arrived here at 1 o'clock on the Wednesday. So it means I don't get a tour. Good, eh? Also, last night went to have a shower in the camping ground at Whitecliff. Get ready, turn on the water. No hot water. I thought this is no good. And looking around the outside, try the other cubicle for water. And find out the end of the sign outside the shower block saying put $1 in the slot for 7.5 minutes of hot water. Nice if you know these things before you get all undressed and get under the shower and find it's only cold water, eh? Yes. Consequently, I had to go back to the car to get some money, eh? Which means I had to dry off, get dressed again, go back to the car, get some money, and then start all over again. Story of my life, really. Start all over again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Not a bad walk along here, Jack. I tell you what, mate, you'd be able to make the first 800 metres. That's to those stencils in the rock, those paintings. Wheelchair access there, Jack. You'd be able to make that one. Don't know whether your car would be too good a nick after you got it out of you, though, mate. Might need new shockers. I've got to speak to Mr. Warden too later on. Remind me about that, will you? Up on the cliff here, the cave we had a look at was just around there. There's another one here, and there's no rails or anything here. We go up and have a look inside. See, it would have been quite comfy in there. I was having a bit of a look around and I thought, well, there's got to be something here. And what we got here, you can make it out. Finger, 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 thumb. It's obviously a child's hand, but it's very hard to, you can see it, make it out now. There's another one over here I found. Can you make this one out? Thumb, finger, 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 and obviously another finger there. See it there? Very small hand though, obviously a child's hand. It's not bad, eh? See, you've got protection from overhead, and obviously they've had a few fires in here because of the black. And actually, if you smell, you can almost, it smells a bit sooty. But obviously that one's broken away there. There's been a bit dropping away from the top here. But yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad little spot down back in there to have a bit of a kip. It's not a bad view out there either, is it? Really roughing it tonight, aren't we? Oh. For all you people out there wondering what this this thing is here, it's my little friend, and it's called Dylan. All right. So, say hello, Dylan. Yeah, that's Dylan. The tea tonight, we got sardines, bit of quick pasta. I liked that last night, so I'm doing it again. Surprise peas, and we got some cherry conserve, and put some bit of curry, bit of cucumber, and it comes up like this, and it's not bad either. And then, never mind the sugar content, this is very nice. So we're having a rather pleasant dinner, tea here tonight. We've got some campers from hell over there. And if we come back the other way, we've got some other campers up there. See them up there amongst the trees? Well, they were there a minute ago. Yes. Haven't got a bad spot here tonight, have we? Very quiet, very quiet. Few flies, but they'll go away at sunset. Very cold tonight, apparently. Very cold. I tell you what, that's not bad either. That is not bad. And the sardines just add to it.
This is one of those stories, the story of Guluwara, ancestor god who lived in the sandstone caves of Notarangi Hills, just north of Marawindi. Here, the Seven Sisters, that beautiful cluster of misty stars, now in the northern sky, were then on the land, teaching the people the law. They were called Wittu Wittu Therinya, the good teachers. Frog Dinya lived under the rocks by the rock owl, a cunning sly frog. He worked on the people and led them into bad ways. Guluwara, a powerful ancestor god, was angered by the weakness of the people. His punishment was terrible. All of the people must be taught a lesson. At Broken Hill is a place called Willera, where a large mob of people gathered. In a flash, he shattered the place, killing many people, turning their veins into shining silver and little cubes of shiny grey lead. The piles of broken, jagged boulders there are the bodies of the people. Then a great drought gripped the land. Day after day, month after month, the weather became drier and drier. Sand country began to drift in the hot west winds. Mayala Lake became a bed of dry red dust. Rockall after rockall dried. Most of the kangaroos left the country, and even the rock wallabies and euros stayed deep inside the caves. Things were bad, and it seemed as if the people were lost. Near Marawindi, the starving people had gathered by the last of the waters. A few kangaroos still hung about the plains by Mount Wright Creek. Guluwara's bodyguard killed one of these kangaroos and fed all of the people with it. Parts of the stomach are reserved for special people, but Guluwara ordered that it be left where the roo was killed. This pile of offal grew until it became 150 metres high and 200 metres across. You can see the creamy lines of smooth intestines making up the mountain. It stands alone, silent and bare, and we call it Yanta Ana. Those early white people called it Mount Wright, after the leader of Burke and Will's disastrous backup party. But Guluwara's lesson wasn't finished yet. He went north from Yanta Ana and blew up Kutawanti, a mountain range we know now as Kutalundi. The people stood up to see what was going on. He threw dust all over them, cementing them into a long clipped range with a flat top. Some people escaped by sheltering behind the jagged rocks at the end. Guluwara was not going to let the people off easily. As a further warning, he travelled on to near Tippabara and unleashed a terrible storm. At first, it was a dry, violent lightning storm. At Mount Arrowsmith, it blew the eyes from the people, where they are now picked up by fossicas and are called cat's eyes. The storm kept rolling in from the north, and soon rain poured from it, filling the rock holes. The creeks ran, the lowlands filled with water, and River Barker flooded, way out across the country, trapping and drowning anything in its path. People who had not left the floodplain drowned. But some people survived the flood by climbing the muddy hills. Here they dug shelters in the soft country not yet turned to rock. In these shelters that are found all through these hills, the people left their hand stencils to show their relationship to this land. Eventually the water receded. Gulawara knew he had done his work well, so he began to make Marawindi beautiful to live in. He made the rock holes and replenished the land, wildlife and the people. The drawings tell us this. The people had learned their lesson. To make sure that Dinyu, the mischievous frog, would never again mislead the people, Gulawara punished the frog by taking away his powers to control people. That is why they are so small at Marawindi and why they sit on the edge of the rock holes, hardly ever making a sound. So that the seven sisters, Witu Dirinya, the good teachers, could watch over and keep helping the people, Gulawara sent them into the sky. The most dangerous time for droughts, fires and floods is summer, and so Witu Dirinya appear across the northern sky in those months. As Gulawara departed Marawindi, he left his giant footprints in the rock. As he left this now beautiful and peaceful place, he said he would never return. The rock holes in the creek near the engravings are Gulawara's footprints.
They done with a stone.
Stone. Oh, dang it.
See Nu-Lax there. Little ones there. Man with a boomerang. See a little boomerang there.
We were there, we didn't climb it, we didn't.
They're frogs. And the mythical frog.
When we get on the walkway, just look over to your left there, and you'll see a little cypress pine. Next to that cypress pine, you'll see engravings, and a man and a dog. I said dingo is as his pet. Any questions?
What?
The emu and the kangaroo is more outstanding than the others. Another one. That's how they done their pickings.
Okay.
You see some woman's small kangaroo and emu tracks there. It's like a little ladder here, see there?
Yep.
And another one over here. That's the headdress. Made out of sticks.
Footprints and that up there.
Yeah. This little rock here, you see engravings there. Gulawara in the Dreamtime story.
Yep.
This rock is the rain-making rock. This is a coppery green. In Perry National Parks, that's 30 k's out of Whitecliff. I found two men's site there. I was walking around with my brother and an archaeologist, his wife, and I got that feeling, and he told me to move away, and we found the stone arrangements. Out split rocks, see when you go for a drive, you're right out, and you see a gate, and you just park your car and you follow the road around. And they call it a rock, they call split rocks. I don't know if it's the engraving there or something there, but I take white people in my own kind and I still get this feeling. So I just keep away from there now. I like to walk around, but I can't. Not by myself.
So why do you think the feelings are always bad?
No, like it might be a man's site there or something to do with men.
Yeah.
Or is it the bad spirit there?
Yeah.
We had a few white people that come, as soon as they hit the gate there, they got that eerie feeling.
Yeah.
So when we bring them on the walk and they get it on the walk, we just tell them to break a branch and go like that to let the spirit know you're coming in peace.
And keeps the flies off too.
Yeah. The last meeting we had up in Whitecliff, they wanted to make a walkway up here so people could sit on the edge and soak their foot. And I said, no way. I said, that's sacred to us, Gulluru's footprints. It's like Gulluru's sacred to the traditional owners up there. I said, you start doing that. I said, I won't be coming back no more. I'll even get a divorce from my husband. Like I did last night. And where you fellas camp, that's where this bloke was. See me, Muriel, can I ask you a silly question? I said, yes, sir. What? He said, how you Aboriginal people wake up? I said, looked at him, I said, same way you white fellas wake up? He must have thought we wake up different. And his wife looked at him, and some mothers do have them. See the yellow ochre I was pointing, showing you back there, that's it here. The red ochre was boarded in and traded. The white ochre is the gypsum stone, a very glittery stone. Our ancestors used to put that in the coals of the fire and pull it out and then grind it up to a powder. They used to put the ochre in their mouth with 3 animal fat, echidna, goanna and emu, because their fat's very oily. Then they use a bit of water or their saliva and blew it onto the hoe rings. You see a stencil like this, hand stencil. He could have been just mucking around or he could have been punished. They get a finger or speed any part of their body do something wrong. Underneath here we got 2 boomerangs, one there and one up here. Those are the ones they have when they're doing the corroboree, they clap together. Up here we got a woman's digging stick, goes right down to here, and that's made out of mulga. That's the mulga behind, there's a silvery looking one. And to dig for yams and widgety grubs. Like the hand stencils show their relationship to the land, like the signature. We also got some silicone around the edges there to stop the water from dripping down and damaging the stencils. That's why we like to do this way first, because save the one at the end it will last to show people when our ancestors done their stencils and they fade away, you can see the sand is still stuck in the cracks and that's damaging the stencil, so that last little one probably won't last long. That's why, you know, it's good. It'd be nice to see the traditional owners of today to put theirs on an area where there's no stencils to keep it, you know, keep it going. Because if these fade away, then there's nothing for people to see. We get a lot of people with the school chalk that goes around the outline to get a bit of photo, but that will damage the stencil later on. Only person that had to put their long arm up like a clever person, they've been through the rules to become a clever person. You see the white chalk I was telling you about, first class chalk. William Wright, when he put his triangle down there, he scratched the W in here. There's a blue bag, a Ricketts blue, the washing powder, a European hand stencil. Our ancestors not only put their hands on the wall, they put their thinner on their foot. You see here? Big toe up this way, the little toe there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Down there. You see that engravings up there I was telling you about, the dog? Here's the 3 paws here, stencil on. Can you see it?
Dingo?
Dingo. 3 there. We went up to Dalhousie Spring when we going up to Uluru and it was chock-a-block of people, you know, and we were the only little black ones there, right down the other end. And all them dingoes, they come to our where we was camped. And now the bloke just told us to put all our shoes and that under the mattress because they take anything they could grab. And we went over in the bush next day, there was things everywhere. And the big one's to carry baby. The little one here is to carry berries and widgety grubs. See when I was telling you about the emu, kangaroo engraving, some and over the other side there. These long white marks are tally marks. It's like a calendar to let the tribe know when they come back for their next ceremonial. You see where they climbed up top there? Some more boomerangs here. Any questions?
Are those little further up as you're going up the top in the white area there, those little circles mean something?
Hornets' nests.
Hornets' nests. Because even further up,
Yeah.
there's some stripy looking ones. Is that the same?
Yeah, they're the same one. Hornets' nest.
It's just the colour of the mud.
Yeah. Oh, gee, that sun got a kick in it,
Yes,
eh?
it has.
Well, we're on our way to Broken Hill. We got up this morning and went on a guided tour of Matilda, the frog dreaming. So we got a bit of that on there. The guide come around last night and said if there was enough people she'd have an extra tour. So we did that. Old Jack Alford will be pleased we did that. There's no doubt about it. Bitumen's nice, isn't it? We've arrived at Broken Hill and we're now heading out towards Silverton. Spoke to the little girl in the tourist office at Broken Hill and I said wanted to go on a mine tour. We're going out to the Daydream mine, which is halfway to Silverton. And I said, well, that suits me fine because I want to stop at Silverton tonight. Apparently there's a little camping ground in Silverton called the Penrose Camping Ground, so we're stopping there tonight. But in the meantime, we're heading out of Broken Hill. Sorry, Jack, you missed Broken Hill. You must have fell asleep there, mate. Heading out of Broken Hill towards Silverton, and we'll have a look at this mine tour, eh? I know I'm going on a lot of these tours, but you gotta do the right thing when you're a tourist, and you gotta have a bit of a look around, all right?
Parent rock. When I refer to parent rock, it means the rock that's around the ironstone. So when they hit that rock that's around it, they give up drilling. So yeah, the purpose of mining anymore just doesn't exist because the ironstone is not there. If I was to look for a copper mine, I'd look for a green stream running through a rock, which is malachite, green copper, or I'd be looking for a blue streak, which is azurite. That's blue copper here. But here it was silver lead. They've chased it in, chased it back to parent rock. When they hit the wall, they decided to turn the room in there into a black powder storage facility. The room's only 6 foot long, 4 foot high, and 3 feet wide. It's very small, but it's enough to sit quite a few powder kegs in there. It holds a consistent dry temperature of 19 to 22 degrees, so that's why they do it. Right there's where they got their richest ore, 1,400 ounces to the tonne. In Broken Hill now we're getting roughly 1 ounce to the tonne of silver. But of course Broken Hill's galena rock, where we got this 1,400 tonnes was from the amberlite native silver. 70%, the amberlite is 70% pure, the native is 99% pure, virtually 100% pure silver. When you find the native, it's like wire, it's the only way to describe it, and it usually turns up in gas pockets. So as the gas cools somehow, as the silver cools with the gas, it pulls it out into hairs. And a lot of it looks like the whiskers on your chin, but every now and then you'll get gas pockets where it's just all laden with the silver wire. As we didn't even have a smelter in Australia at the time. Anyway, this is Meach's here. It goes down for roughly 280 feet, just like Anderson's there. So for this one's on a softer angle. Here's the site they had the only powered machinery. Right where this bloke stand in the middle, there was a Ryobi steam-powered winch. It's funny to know that Ryobi goes way back to the 1880s. So maybe it was Ryobi Chinese or Japanese?
Oh, a bit of one of them.
Yeah, one of them. But yeah, obviously they started getting into steam engines back then. I think a lot of them Asian countries were the last countries to be industrialised. But anyway, Ryobi steam-powered winch, pulling up roughly 1/8 of a tonne of ore a day, not much at all. And they were pulling up a bucket like this. This is the site that had the only powered machinery. It became much easier for the blokes to chuck all their rubbish rock and also their ore into this here, and they pull it up to the top and bang. It would speed up the mining quite goodly. Now behind us here is the tailings heap, and this is why we know it's their main ore haul point, because it's just the sheer size of the tailing heap. Right from here all the way back, they bring the ore out that's already been classed as being rich silver, then they'll continue to crush and sort, looking to you know, concentrate it to really rich material.
How far under are we?
Just sit that there like that. Yep. We're 85 feet. Oh, sorry. Trouble on your foot. You know how to adjust them, mate? Oh, we got a similar head size. Yeah, 85 feet underground, roughly about 22, 25 metres of solid rock above our head. Now, just up behind us here is an exploratory drive. It's chasing off a vein of ironstone. It's exploring. Now, it's roughly around sort of 2 to 3 months to sink that hole. And even if they hit a pocket of ore, which they're hoping, as large as this room, easily there could be 10 tonnes of material in this room. Across this section of the ore body here, they're getting 400 ounces to the tonne. So going by that, if they hit another pocket of ore at 400 ounces to the tonne, as big as that room, they could get 4,000 ounces like that. And 4,000 ounces was very worth it. So it was worth their mucking around and taking 3 months to sink that hole there. Just here with our huge talking tom. Even the little ones are called talking toms. How could this 120 kilo lump of timber talk to us? How could it make a noise as it's standing in this position?
Tells the story of how it got down here.
You hit it.
No, the roof above. If it gives way, it's going to put pressure on these logs. A lot of people think the log will hold the roof up. No way. A timber like this could, in my mind, hold a 2-3 tonne rock. That'll be about its limit. But once it gets above that, it'll start to creak and groan, and eventually it would snap.
Talks.
It talks to us, telling the miners to get the hell out of here. Again, if we do hear this tom creak, we'll know that there's a significant rockfall about to happen, merely because we know that 2 or 3 tonne rock would sit on it. So when you got 5, 10, 40 tonnes of rock coming down, it's a bit daunting. But they old gum logs, these big fat ones, they could be just off a 200-year-old tree or even a 300-year-old tree. But this here mulga, 350 plus. And you see the bark is still intact on a lot of these mulga toms. Even the bark on the tree is super hard. All these declines we see heading off to our right is at the 4th level. It was mostly dug in the 1880s, but it was brought by John Spargo Grocer's children, 2 of them, of the 4 that survived, 2 of his sons. They brought it in 1907 and worked it to 1921, right through World War One. 45 ounces to the tonne. They gave away the chase at 45 ounces to the tonne. So, like I said, the tea room, if we were to be able to get $50 an ounce, what's left at the 4th level would be able to make about $2.5 a tonne. But I don't think we'll be that lucky. I don't think it'll reach 45 ounces, $50. Come across the fire on the ground here, just look straight up. We're at the bottom of the 85-foot shaft.
You have to be very short to walk through here.
That's how far underground we are. Now Jeremy was saying in the tea room, they blast areas 100 feet tall. That's about this thick. That tall by 100 feet deep gets destroyed at once. So they're massive amounts of rock they're shifting at once. Just come down here, I'll show you a specimen of the ore body. Nothing too fancy about it. Now I'll just step through here to make some room for you, but don't you go far me. Might get in trouble. Now this is the ore body here. You can see Robert started drilling some holes in it to blast it and see what was in there. I said we got 400 ounces to the tonne across the 3rd level. And this is the ore body just off to the left side of the rich part of it. So, in my opinion, there could well and truly be plenty of silver in there. Now, this is Robert's drill. It's a 1960s mate. They got a couple of nicknames. One of them was a widow maker. It made a lot of widows. Men would die at 50. So, from 1880 right up to 1950, you know, men were still dying at 50 years of age. Now, the other name they got was a ball cruncher. Why do you think they got that name? That's it. They have a buck back. A reason why they could buck also, you see we got our air line, which operates the hammer, and in here we got a cylinder which applies forward pressure. So instead of relying on the 70-80 kilo bloke to apply pressure to the drill, you know, you've got this additional support. And the harder it's pushing against the rock, the more fracturing the chisel head's going to do. It's going to penetrate deeper sooner. So it speeds up the drill. But every now and then they'd buck and kick and this cylinder would separate. It would throw the men even into rocks. Imagine if Robert got thrown against that one. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? But underground in certain conditions, they were thrown against rocks and killed from it. From this here ram. Imagine having an air-operated ram hit in the old crown jewels. Lovely. So that's what Robert was used underground to mine his 3 ore bodies of around 25 tonnes.
Goes down a fair way, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, we're at the 80-foot level. The deepest point's 280.
Oh dear.
So between here and the next shaft is another 200 feet. So then when we lay that on the side, that's a good 300-400 feet in actual distance walked on the decline as opposed to going straight down.
Do you know if he mined down there or as far as
I reckon he would have, but most of the mines, most of the places he mined was at the 80-foot level, which is what we're on now. There's not a lot of soft rock down here, so mainly 18 inches at a time. They would also use these powder scrapers here to scrape the dust out the borehole. So here we go, 12 hours a day. Do I have any interested people want to come help me for the day? This doesn't excite you at all?
I'll turn the tap.
Okay. Now what would often happen to the poor old chisel holder was to get the hammer striking on the hand like that and it would smash his thumb or forefinger completely off. Surgically remove your finger or your thumb with a 14-pound sledge. How lovely is that? But it didn't happen too often because the bloke holding the chisel had his own hammer sitting on the ground. So if he, you know, got his hand crushed, he'd merely pick up his own hammer and smack the bloke on the foot with it. So he said, you know, you're breaking my hand, I broke your foot. And it worked because it stopped them from hitting a lot. Just try imagine the scene. They've blasted, the powder monkey's given it a clearing, they put some toms in, all the ore's removed from the face, we've got to come back in mine. Now the dust that's in the air isn't brown, it's black. Black as black because they're drilling into black material. So he comes in, miner about 45 years of age, coughing crap off his lung, blood and all, mucus, dust, mud. He's probably a bit drunk and a bit high from the night before because they used to drink their horehound, of course, and they also, opium was legal in the Barrier Ranges till 1930. Sorry, 1913. The reason was because of the miners, because somehow this labelled them to sleep at night and get a night's sleep, as opposed to coughing and spluttering all night and getting no sleep. And that's all it was for. But this bloke, he's come back in, there's all this thick dust, you're holding this chisel, he's pretty much blind, like I say, and you've got to rely on him about, you know, 20,000 times in a day to strike a little area about 1.5 inches wide. So, would any of you like to be miners in this sort of method?
Pass.
Me either. Now I've tried to replicate the drilling process. It takes me, with a little 4-pound sledge and a handheld chisel, about 3.5 hours to sink a hole that deep in medium hard rock. They're drilling in solid granite and achieving a hole 18 inches deep in a roughly 1 hour and 20 to 1 hour and 50 minutes. So that's the skill for it. We turn our lights back on there, everyone. just pass around a specimen of galena rock. This is what's all through the walls. The miners threw this material away. It was rubbish rock because it was only yielding rich lead.
Heavy.
This is a sort of rock that yields high quantities of lead. It's very apparent by the weight. But out of this sort of rock, in Broken Hill, like I said, they're only getting just over 1 ounce. But at the Daydream, they're getting up to 20 ounces out of their galena, which is very rich for galena. It usually carries much lower traces of silver. But you come down here looking for shiny things like that, you only find lead and mica. But if you come down here looking for dull grey to a black, you'll find lots of silver and rich silver. Also, a little bit more galena.
Gee, it's a fair weight.
Not the sort of... Now imagine this, right, in Broken Hill, in Broken Hill's mine, like Jeremy said, the long stopes are 100 foot tall. Imagine a lump of rock that big falling from 100 feet.
Imagine a wheelbarrow full of it.
Oh. In Broken Hill, the ore body's so huge, the front end loaders are scooping up 15 tonnes of, you know, raw this material. No chunks of dirt or hard rock in it, just all galena. There's been no ore body of its kind found anywhere else in the world of its size. So there's plenty of silver lead ore bodies, just not as big. And out of all the ore bodies in the world, copper, gold, zinc, platinum, whatever, salt mines, everything, Broken Hill is one of the biggest found on the planet.
Penrose Park camping area. I told the lady, I said, look, where do you want us to camp? And she said, oh, we've got 75 acres, camp wherever you like. So I'm in a little spot here. It's not a bad little spot at Silverton. And we got some stuff going here that looks fairly good. And we're going to have that. We're boiling up again. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Stuff looks good, doesn't it? It's a bit runny today. I'm out of bread, so I can't soak it up with bread this time. Just going to have to eat it as it is. It's a little bit runny. What I've got is pencil and papers ready. Oh, I forgot to do this for Jack. Yeah, Jack. Stag 99% fat free, lean beef with chili beans, low fat, and I got some no cholesterol super sweet corn, and some Diet Coke. So we're doing well, right? Another camper coming in over there. There's not too many campers. He's got a little A-frame. See that little A caravan over there? See a few of them on the road now. There's another little van tucked in behind there. And another. Looks like he's been here for a while. But have a listen. It's fairly quiet. I think we're going to go good here tonight. I'm going to sit down here. I'll probably sit at the table over there. See that? Sit at the table and eat my chili beans, okay? Good morning. We're just leaving Broken Hill. Bought a heap of books in Broken Hill. Had a bit of trouble last night. I had the campers from hell again. I don't know. I must attract them. You know, they come in right on sunset after you've settled down and set up camp near you, and immediately start to have play charades or some bloody thing like that. I don't know. Anyway, I shifted out the back. Drove past them this morning very, very slowly with their windows wound up and didn't even acknowledge them. I think they knew. Alrighty, we're on our way home. I think it's time I went home, eh? As you can see, we're starting to get a few spots of rain on the windscreen. I have to call this the Four Seasons to a way where we've had stinking hot days, we've had cold nights, hot days, cold nights, cold meals, hot meals, curried meals, spicy Thai meals. We've had everything this trip. Anyway, looking forward to getting home, cleaning the car up, cleaning me up. Car's filthy, I'm filthy. I'm keen to get on the scales again, because I reckon I lost weight on this trip. What do you reckon? Am I down to a size XL yet? Yes, anyway, old Dylan here, he's got a bit of extra headdress here. That's a peacock's feather, Dylan. Oh, I talked to Dylan there. All he sits there, he sits with his bloody nose hunched up against the windscreen all the time. And old Jessica over there sitting there holding me little disc player there. But it's all been rather well. Trip's gone rather well. Nothing happened that we couldn't handle, but a few things happened that weren't supposed to happen. You forgot to remind. I've got to speak to Dave Warden later on, alright? To remind me of that. So we'll sign off now further on down the road, eh? It's raining. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too long for you this time. Yeah, we got a little information here for you. We went around about 5,300 kilometres. We chewed through about 740 litres of diesel. We consumed about 30 litres of water, which is almost all we carry. We only carry 40 litres. And it's raining. So I got me Hayden Twining commemorative rain stopper here. And we're finally into God's own country. We've got some Farmers Union. What I got here, me and Dylan want to say we enjoyed making this video, didn't we, Dylan? Say hello to the people, Dylan. That's all he ever says. Anyway, we enjoy. Oh, that reminds me. We haven't done our famous trick with the money, have we? So I'll tell you what we're going to do. You know, I got some money here. We've only got a $5 note this time. Got a 50, but I'm feeling bloody miserable. See that? Where are we? Nice $5 note. We'll get that. And we've got this Coke can here. We'll screw the $5 note up. We'll put it inside our Coke can. See, it's inside. Close the lid up. And I'll tell you what, we'll do that. Squash it all up so it's all nice and neat. And I'll just tell you now, Mr. Jack Galpin, if you go out in your front yard near your letterbox, you're going to find a tin can and you're going to think your train's come in. Just like the train here at Para 2 railway siding. We'll end this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too bloody long this time. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We've had sun, we've had heat, we've had rain. We finally got to set up our table with our beautiful table. You like my tablecloth? It's good, isn't it? We're going to end this video here, and hope to see you next time. Bye, people.